to get any better than this. I know, I didn't realize it was so hot in Mississippi. Put an offensive lineman in a suit, but if I was the AD, I'm showing off this part. It's the nicest facility in the country. We spent some time last night. And I know John probably thought I was quiet, but it was hard to talk as you walk through facilities and realized what opportunity you have to coach and work in this unbelievable ballpark that was built. It's been a whirlwind for the last probably 48 hours for me and my family. I got notes. I got to take notes because my head's been going in a million different directions, calling recruits or players or everything else. But I can't tell you how excited we are to be here. As a college baseball coach, but as a fan, Mississippi State's a pinnacle job. I mean, it's just we're so excited to be here. You don't get here without people, and I'll go over some of the people that have helped us, and I'll do it quick because I know everybody's sweating. But we'll, you know, I had a chance to meet with Dr. Keenum this morning, and man, we had a great breakfast and a great talk. And what made the Mississippi State great? I'm picking his brain. I did learn how to use the cowbell. That was part of our teaching, but I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and everything else has been great for us. John, we've spent a lot of time on the phone the last couple days and talking. The opportunity to be here is we appreciate it. I promise you, we're going to work hard and take advantage of that opportunity. And his wife Nell has been awesome. Everybody has put their arms around my family since they've been here, and we really appreciate it. That's some of the hardest pieces when you take a new job is your family and moving, and we really appreciate that from you. My mom and dad, you know, I'm the only Greek coach in the country, so I'll probably get emotional. It's good and bad. So I'll yell at umpires, but then I get, you know, emotional. I get emotional with our guys. But when I talk about my mom and dad, my dad was a state grad. So, and he was an engineer here, and I went to school on an engineering scholarship. And he, about 3 weeks in, I said, "Dad, I don't want to be an engineer." And he wasn't real happy because you had to give the scholarship back. So I went from EE to PE real quick, and I'm sure he was real proud. But I wanted to be a coach. I love the game, and my dad's really happy now because he comes to all my games and watches all my games. And if I'd have been an engineer, he wouldn't have anything to do, to sit on the couch with my mom. But man, I love them, and they'll be here a lot. They're so excited we're down here. They were in tears when I called them. You know, I haven't been back to Starkville probably in 46 years. They were here, married housing, going to school, and I was probably 1 or 2 years old at the time. So it's nice to be back, and it's a big piece. My mom just kept talking about what an experience they had here and what a neat part of life. And as a parent, you know, when you have young kids, it is a neat part, and they are just ecstatic to be a part of the community again. My wife here, my beautiful wife, I couldn't do it without her. If anybody knows the coaching business, and your wife is the rock. She's raised 2 beautiful daughters. My oldest, Marissa, she's a Gamecock, but she looks good in our colors. I mean, she's and you'll appreciate this. Even if she's at another SEC school, she said everybody she told when she went to college she wanted SEC football and palm trees. So she got that in South Carolina. But and then my youngest daughter, Kenzie, she's a senior in high school, and she's been, you know, she's looking around. They'll probably stay there for the year, but we're going to try to get her here. Is our point. So we got to do a good visit and a good sell. But and then Marissa's boyfriend Dan's with us. Their flight got canceled last night, so they drove through the night so they could be here. I mean, I really appreciate you bringing them. Just a couple quick ones, and I know thank yous take a while. I had a chance to play for 2 great head coaches. Chalport, who was in the Hall of Fame, he's no longer with us, and Fred Jordan, who was my mentor, played for him, coached for him, and was there for me. He just recently retired at the Citadel, and I'm just so thankful to play with him. My group I've learned at every spot. My Citadel was my grinder spot. You'd recruit 10 kids and you wouldn't get one. And you'd ask them where they were going, they say, "Coach, we don't have any offers, but we're not going there." But you just had to learn and keep working. You had to keep grinding. You had to keep moving forward. and it was a great place. I'm so thankful for my time at the Citadel. I did get to coach at Louisville with an awesome staff. My best friend's the head coach. That was a mentorship for me. All the guys on the staff is an unbelievable job. And when we jumped in there and took that job over, they had been to like one regional, I think. And you look up and see where that program's at now. And building that program, man, was one of the funnest times of my life. And my last piece is Indiana. Fred Glass, the AD there, gave me all the support, gave me my first head coaching job, which I'll never forget. And all the staff and administrators and players and coaches. The 4 years there were huge for me to be a head coach and be in this position, because the Big Ten's not an easy league. Maybe not SEC, but you deal with weather, you deal with travel, you deal with a lot of different things. That a head coach, I think it really matured me over time and prepared me. But lastly, and I am a recruiter, John spoke about it, it's about the kids. And I've had a chance to coach a lot of great kids over time. My phone has blown up over the last 2 days, like you can imagine, and so many old players have reached out. And you're not standing here in my job if it wasn't for the players. And that's a big piece, and I'm looking forward to building that relationship with our group that we have here. I spoke to the team last night. It's a different dynamic. I don't know if anybody's ever taken over a team 2 days after they got eliminated from the Final Four in Omaha. And man, our guys, they've had a rough year, but they had an unbelievable finish. And man, they attracted the nation, like I told them. And we're going to celebrate those guys, and we're going to celebrate that team. Gary Henderson and that staff, to keep that team together and keep them playing, was a remarkable job. And what happened that last month of the season will help us as we move forward in the future, as we build tradition, and that experience, those guys will help us next year. You know, we talked about going to Omaha, and I told them, I know the feeling. And you get back, you got the Omaha hangover. You're pissed because it's over, and it was such a magical ride, but the reality is, you're waking up, and the 2019 season's already started. And our guys will get a couple days off, and then they'll start heading out to summer baseball or jump in the weight room and get going. And I try not to be too rah-rah or do too much. I know these guys have heard a lot. But my goal is to build that relationship with those guys one day at a time. And I feel like I'm a good relationship coach. I enjoy coaching my guys. They're never perfect, so we'll deal with things. But I'm looking forward to that part as much as anything of joining this team. As a recruiter, we're going to jump out there and try to find the best players for us. I've found over time, a lot of my high draft picks that we had, they weren't the five-star recruit. I've never recruited with something like this. I recruited with, you had to wear a uniform and shave your head, and then I recruited as a Big East school, and I recruited as a Big Ten school. So, man, to have the opportunity to recruit at this, I'm glad to be in the SEC, because I haven't liked the SEC as a coach on the other side for years. So here at Louisville, you got a team down the road, and you just didn't like them. So no offense, Coach. So I know you were there, but it's true. And so you got that opportunity to recruit. But for me, the baseball's one piece, the makeup's the other piece. And I've talked to Coach Gautreaux, who's staying on with us and doing our recruiting. That's a big piece to me, is to get the right fit. And the second piece of the program that we take a lot of pride in, and you piece that together, is player development. And my goal with the guys, and they'll know, their development is the most important thing to me. They want to play pro ball. And I want them to play in the big leagues. I'm not as much fan of, I like the minor leagues, and everything we're doing is we're trying to prepare them to be a big league. There's not a guy in that clubhouse that don't want to play professionally, and as a coaching staff, it's our job to help them get there. I challenge them, though. I say player development, I know what they're thinking, and I said this in my meeting, they're thinking all about their swing. And my piece of the development is the whole man. It's being great in the community. It's being a great teammate. It's being great in the classroom. I think those things are all related. I really do, and I take a lot of pride in it, and they'll hear it from me every day, because, I'm coaching guys who are going to be future husbands, future fathers. Baseball will be over at some point in time, and I see it now because my phone's blown up the last couple of days, but these guys will have impacts all over the world. And so I want to make sure I don't cheat them. And that's something that bothers me. I want to make sure they get the great experience there. The last piece is we're going to put them in a system that's had a lot of success at the highest level of college baseball. It's not rocket science. We're not building anything special. We're playing baseball. And baseball is the working man's game. You show up every day, you punch the clock, you get after it, and you play hard. And man, if you can't play hard in this program, which they do, I mean, I'm watching those guys on TV, but John had sent me about a bunch of numbers today. It looked like an NL All-Star team that I got on my phone of people who had played here and come here before you. And man, you play for that respect of your tradition, and you play hard. When you put this jersey on, man, you have to play hard for the guys that played before you. One last thing, and I had to get on one of the players on my very first meeting. And I hated to do it, but Elijah McNamee told everybody in the locker room after the last game that we were winning the national championship next year. So I told Elijah, thanks, as the new coach, I really appreciate the standard you just set. And Doc said it too, there's no pressure, so I get that side, but that's the expectation. And we won't be scared to talk about playing for a national championship. That's just, that's what you want here. I know it ain't easy. It's hard to win a regional. It's hard to win a super regional. It's a tough grind in the SEC. But that's what we're gearing for. Our dreams are big. I want our kids to dream big. And, I joked with him, but he was sincere and he was passionate. And I love that. I want our guys to be passionate. I'll end with this. I asked our guys a question, trying to trick them in the meeting. And I said, why Mississippi State? Why Mississippi State? Why'd you pick Mississippi State? And I don't even know all their names. That's bad. But hey, I'm a fan, Coach. I grew up as a fan. One guy threw out SEC. Another guy threw out, man, these are the best facilities, man, you got in the country. And one player, and I still haven't figured out who it was, said, this is home. Man, that hit me right between the eyes. I was looking for national championship. But that's what it is here at Mississippi State. It's home. And we represent the university, and they are such a big part of the university. I just thought it was a huge statement from a kid who, man, these guys take so much pride in playing for their fans. And we'll do everything we can to play hard and to make you proud. And we'll get after and put a great product on the field. And I can tell you this, my family's happy to call Starkville home. Thank you.